Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyimla, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, B'Kahakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth, and just want to say water to all the H.I.M and Aqua that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawah, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this is a interview in redacted. I want to use this, and copyright disclaimer, I'm not getting any monetary value off of this. I'm just using it as an educational tool. So copyright disclaimer. But this interview, I'm not sure this guy's name right off. And this was a good show because they went into a lot of stuff. So, by the time they got to this point right here, I kind of paused it and stopped because he was saying some stuff that, we can be edified on when it comes to, Judaism, being a Jew, and, Zionism and what all these things mean. Because when you look at the word Jew, it's just really short for Judah. But these people that's over there, they will have you believe that it's just Jewish. They're not going to tell you that, okay, this is one of the sons of Jacob. And he had 11 more sons, which makes up the tribes of Israel. So when they say Jewish, they looking at it as a whole, when Jewish or Jew, it just goes into one tribe. And that's the tribe that Yahushua is from, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus. He was from the tribe of Yahweh in the Hebrew tongue. And his name is Yahushua. He wasn't a Greek. His name is not Jesus. That's the Greek transliteration of his name, which is not a real translation of his name. And he wasn't a Greek. And the letter J wasn't invented around that time. So his name is not Jesus as well. It's Yahushua, which means that he's the Savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. And the true name of the Father is Yahweh, which means that he exists, or the existing one, in the Paleo Hebrew. And it's really very simple, but these people have, really complicated things. And really it's to throw people off. Because that letter J, the letter E, the letter O, the letter U, the letter V, that was never in the Hebrew alphabet. And they know it. Where did it come from? They added those vowel points to the what they call Hebrew, which a lot of the times they speak in Yiddish or German Slavic, So I just wanted to play a little bit of this because she said some because she's interviewing him, saying some pretty interesting things. But he goes off into overall something that he speaks on about, I think it's Ruth. And, pretty much he's coming from a standpoint of the mother determines what a child is and not the father. And that goes totally against the scriptures because the male carries the seed. So let's play some of the video and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Anti-Semitic, and you are trying to teach people what Judaism actually is and how it is completely separate and apart from Zionism. So can you explain that for us? Because like I said, this is new to me. How is Zionism anti-Semitic?
Judaism is a religion. Jews have looked at themselves as a religion for thousands of years. There are various different interpretations of this religion, everybody from Jews for Jesus, to the Reform Jews, to the Orthodox Jews, etc. Zionism came and said something completely different. It said the Jews are not a religion. The Jews are a nationality. Just like the Greeks.
And that's really true. They are a nationality. They have a seed line. They have a genealogy.
Power off.
So he's clearly telling you that Judaism is a religion. A religion and an ethnicity are totally different. So matter of fact, let's pull up a few words. We like to Google things over here. We like to look things up over here, right? So let's put in Judaism, right? Let's just put in Judaism. Judaism is a monotheistic religion, see? Believing in one God. It is not a racial group. Individuals may also associate or identify with Judaism primarily through ethnic or cultural characteristics. Jewish communities may differ in beliefs, practice, politics, geography, language, and autonomy. So, when it came to the scriptures, the Lord gave the law, statutes, and commandments to all Israel. It wasn't it didn't make no difference where you went. If you went to the area of Gad they would have had the same laws as if you went to the area of Zebulun or Asher or Judah, because the land was separated. Moses, they was doing, the giving everyone their lot, but it wouldn't have made no difference wherever you went throughout Israel, throughout all the tribes. They would have all had one set of rules, regulations, or law, statutes, and commandments, which came down from Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So all that, and it was a racial thing, it was an ethnicity, because the law, statutes, and commandments was only given to the children of Israel. Now you may have had people that would come in and say, say for instance, if you come to a city or if you go to a different country, you have to abide by their rules or regulations. So if there were travelers, or you may say, a foreigner, or a real heathen, they would have to abide by the rules of our cities. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be able to just come off in there and get to worshiping their God and get to pushing and flipping, and trying to, do what they want to do amongst our people, because we have rules and regulations. You know what I'm saying? And people could be, put to damn death, man. It was serious. So he's talking about Judaism. We can clearly see it's a religion, but when it comes to the DNA of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who the promises were given to, that goes off into a family line, a family tree. That's why you see all these genealogies in the scriptures. Matter of fact, going into Matthew chapter 1. Now, they may not even believe in Matthew or the New Testament, but I'm just saying, even in Numbers, the book of Numbers gives you the rundown as to what lineage and how pedigree goes, family tree goes. It goes through your father. So I'm going to let him speak a little bit more, but I want to, let me see, we got Judaism. And so we can clearly see that that's a religion. But let's see, I want to put in something else. I'm just going to put in, is Jew short for Judah? And let's see what they have. Okay, I didn't even have to type it all the way in. It says, yes, the English word Jew comes from the Hebrew word Yehudi, which we know, it's it's Yahweh, man, which literally means of Judah. Yehudi is an adjective that appears in the later parts of the Hebrew Bible and refers to the descendants of Yehuda, Judah, the fourth son of Jacob. See, he's the fourth son. At least they got that right. Judah's tribe, along with that of his half brother Benjamin, made up the kingdom of Judah. So generally, the southern kingdom before this, when the kingdom was split, you would have what you call the southern kingdom, which would be Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And that's pretty much about, that would be another lesson. But the northern kingdom, which was the other tribes, will be called Israel. The kingdom was split. So you have to know this history, that the kingdom was split, and that's the reason why the Lord is coming. He's coming to put the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom back together and to get us out of the hands of our enemies. That's the good news of the gospel. Those Gentiles that you see in the New Testament, those are not heathens that the Lord is dealing with. Those are Israelites that were living like heathens, that were living after the Gentile customs and the captivities and things of that nature that we were caught up in. That's the reason why the Lord is coming. He's not coming to put the Chinese together or the Japanese together. He's not coming for that. He's coming to put the children of Israel back together. The elect of Israel, man. So we can clearly see two definitions right there. So at least they got this one right, other than the names being spelled wrong. Because again, there's no letter J, E, O, U, or V in the Hebrew alphabet. They added these, which is called vowel points. Matter of fact, let's do that real quick. Let's see. I'm just gonna put in when were vowel points added to the Hebrew. Yep, here we go. I ain't even have to type it all the way in. It says vowel points called nequadots in Hebrew were added to the Bible between 600 CE and the beginning of the 10th century. A group of scribes in Tiberias called the Masorets, whose name means tradition, developed the system to indicate how the text was traditionally read. To avoid altering the consonantal text, they placed the markings above, below, and to the left of the Hebrew letters. But it wasn't necessary. What would you need to do that for? It wasn't necessary. It was what it was. Just like the Yahweh, he exists. You get to changing around vowel points and get to changing up pronunciations. Now you calling on somebody else. So dangerous system, man, that they got. But let's play some more though.
Jews are a nationality. Just like the Greeks had a religion, they worshipped Zeus, and the Norsemen worshipped Odin, but their identity was a national identity. The Jews are a nationality, and Israel is the state of that nationality. They were the first people that said to say that the Jews are not a religion, they're a nationality. There were perhaps some quirky, exceptional Jews, can count them on one hand, throughout history that believe that, but the Zionists were the first one to do it. In addition, the Zionists claim to speak in the name of all the Jews all over the world. Israel claims to be my state. Their nation-state law of 2018 says that Israel is the nation-state of all Jews all over the world, meaning that America is not my country, Israel is my country according to Israeli law. Netanyahu wrote in one of his books that the reason why anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism, I'm sure you've heard that little piece of nonsense. Yes, and
it confuses me.
Well, okay, the reason why it's confusing is because it's based on an ideology called Zionism. And Netanyahu said that to say I'm against Israel, but I'm not against Jews is the same as saying I'm against the existence of America, but I'm not against American identity. According to Israel, according to Zionism, according to Netanyahu, the Jews are nationals, who may or may not be religious, and Israel is the country of that nationality, which means, like Jonathan Pollard said, he said that he would recommend Jews in America should spy on America for Israel because Jews have loyalty to Israel. According to Netanyahu, according to Zionism, my country is not the United States of America. My country is Israel. In 1917, when they made the Balfour Declaration in England, there was one Jewish member of the cabinet, a man by the name of Edwin Montague. He was against the Balfour Declaration, and he was against Zionism. He said, if you're going to create a Jewish nationality in a Jewish state, you're going to make the Jews foreigners in their own countries. And the Zionists want this.
See? A bunch of confusion, man. Bunch of confusion. But the scripture doesn't talk about no Balfour Declaration, man, or nothing remotely close to that of the children of Israel going back to the Holy Land, man. It's a lot of holes in their story, and we know that, you know what I'm saying, these are not the people, man. You know, and they're constantly telling on themselves as well. You know, scripture talks about how they will make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, man. These are not the people. It's like they got all this, you know, world. Why you got all these different stories? You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing complete truth about them. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's something over here, it's something over there. You know, they never talk about how can you be there that long and never mention the other 11 sons of Jacob? How can you just say Jew? Why don't you ever hear them saying Benjamin or Levi or Asher or Zebulon or Naphtali? You know what I'm saying? Why, I mean, come on. How could you be there for 75 years and those tribes are nowhere to be found? They're not even being mentioned. That right there in itself is sketchy, man. Anyway, let's play some more because I want to get to the point of him talking about the mother part as well. That's what makes this, and that's even confusion. How your mother determines your nationality? That don't even make no sense. When clearly the man carries the sperm, which those are already children swimming within his ball sack, for lack of better terms, so like it for the language. Those are already children. All they need to do is be placed into a ground setting and need nurturing. That seed comes forth and it's what the dad is. It's real simple, man. Here you go. You got these motherfuckers going to space. They got rockets. They got missiles. They got all this technology, but you don't know that a child comes through a male. That's crazy, bro.
It's anti-Semitic because, first of all, it denies my Jewish identity. It's a complete erasure of Jewish identity. And two, it claims that I'm not a real American. I am Jewish by religion. My family's from Poland. I have nothing to do with Israel. It's not a question of I'm for or against Israel's policies. I have as much to do with Israel. Jews have as much to do with Israel as they do with China, inherently. Mm-hmm. Israel, my family's from Poland. By religion, I'm Jewish. I'm here in America. What connection do I have with some random country they made in 1948? Now, Israel's status law, 1952 or 53, said that Israel considers the state of Israel the project and result of the national of all Jews all over the world. It's the national movement of all Jews all over the world. But that's nonsense. It's not. A bunch of Zionists got together, decided to make a country, and now speak in the name of all Jews all over the world. And to say to everybody in the world, to you, that I am not a real American as much as you are. I have loyalty to Israel. Netanyahu, when he came to America last time to speak to Congress to squelch Barack Obama's Iran deal, right before he left, he said, I go to America to represent not merely the people that voted for me, but I represent all Jews all over the world. He claims to be basically the prime minister of the Jews. And Naftali Bennett said clearly Netanyahu is the prime minister of the Jews. He is not the prime minister of the Jews. My president, whether I like him or not, is Joe Biden. Okay? And I have nothing to do with that country, and yet that country goes around slandering me and my people, claiming that they speak in our name, number one. They're the only Jews in the world that do that. Look, everybody has an opinion about what Judaism is, right? No problem. But
Sure.
Nobody says that they are the prime minister of the Jews, that they are the state of the Jews, that they speak in the name of the Jews, that they are the national movement of all Jewish people. That's nonsense. Orthodox Jews, I know that I believe Orthodox Judaism is correct. The others are incorrect. Fine, but I recognize the fact that there are others out there. Israel believes, and they tell everybody, that they are the state of all Jews. Israel claims to be my state. In the words of Victor Lieberman and Danny Ayalon with Francis.
Look at this. It's just confusion, bro. The Lord is not the author of confusion. That whole shit over there is confusion. You got the LGBTQ running shit over there. You know, you got the Orthodox. It's a smorgasbord of shit going on over there, man, that people really don't know, because they really don't get into it. They don't understand, and it's really not on the news like that. You know, people go to church on Sunday, and, you know, they listen to these pastors or these mega pastors, and they get to talking about how Israel is a part of prophecy. Yeah, Israel is a part of prophecy. But these people right here, their portion in the prophecy is that they're not the real people. They're not the real people. See, when the kingdom comes, ain't gonna be nobody sitting around like this guy right here talking about, I'm not a, Israel has nothing to do with me. Israel gonna have everything to do with all the Israelites, man. And we're not gonna be somewhere just, I mean, we could be places. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure we're gonna have lands and, do different things. You know what I'm saying? But when it straight comes down to it, we're gonna overall be in Israel, man. We're not gonna be somewhere in other people's countries, being, talking about no anti-Sim, nothing. Ain't nobody gonna be no anti on us, man. You see? Well, let's play a little bit more.
To the French, and Japan is to the Japanese, Israel is to the Jews. That's Zionism. Without Zionism, Japan is to the Japanese and France is to the French, what Israel is to the Israelis.
Yes. Right.
This idea
now,
that is...
Well, one of the things that you said,
and this is one of the points that I wanted to get to right here. She's about to speak on here.
In a recent interview that I really found it kind of jaw-dropping, is that Judaism fundamentally is an invitation to study the Word of God, and it is a peaceful, absolutely full stop, peaceful religion. And I turned to my husband, I said, maybe I'm a Jew because I like to study, and I am anti-war, and you say...
See? She's like, maybe I'm a Jew. No, it's you can't just... pick up chopsticks and learn Kung Fu and all of a sudden you're damn Chinese, man. See, that's that confusion where they see that shit is a religion. That religion, Israelites got nothing to do with religion like that. You know what I'm saying? We do have, what you would consider a religion, but it's not like what these people are talking about. Now, in the kingdom, are they going to learn the law, statutes, and commandments? Oh, yeah, you're going to learn them law, statutes, and commandments. Same way that we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and we got to stop at stop signs, and we got to go get his driver's license. We got to go and get this man's, credentials to do this, to travel, to do whatever, to go, whatever. Same way we got to abide by his laws. They're going to abide by our laws. It's real simple on that end. You see what I'm saying? But she's talking like, maybe I'm a Jew. No, you're not a, no. See, that's that confusion about that replacement theology type of bullshit where you just can jump into the Bible and all of a sudden you're an Israelite. You got these people talking about spiritual Israelites. Damn, what the fuck is a spiritual Israelite? The promises was given to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob's sons, it was passed on to the sons of Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, man. That's who the new old covenant was for, and that's who the new covenant is for. And it's simple. So he's gonna go on to say some more bullshit too, but I'm gonna keep it. I want to keep it quick. Let's get some more.
That it's an invitation to anyone to follow this doctrine, and it absolutely doesn't. So can you speak to that, and why then a war would be waged in the name of this doctrine?
Okay, first, they're not waging war in the name. Well, they don't believe in this doctrine. Netanyahu is not a religious man at all. He does not follow Judaism at all. He does not eat kosher food. He does not keep the Sabbath. He does not believe in the 13 fundamentals of our religion. He is not a practicing Jew.
And that's a bunch of them. But you in the Holy Land, supposedly fulfilling the prophecy of going back to the Holy Land, but you got some of your people that don't even believe in no, all of us, the law, statutes, and commandments are going to be written on our minds and our hearts, man. There ain't gonna be no Israelite out here that's just like, oh, well, I'm secular. No, when we go back into that land, when the Lord does what he does, we go back into our land, man, we're gonna be righteous, bro. Those laws, statutes, and commandments are gonna be written on our minds and our hearts. We ain't gonna be nobody out here talking about, well, I'm a Jew, but you gotta, hey, I see a bunch of them. You run across them all the time. They'll tell you straight up, they Jews, but they're atheists. They don't even believe and no God. See? Well, let's play some more.
Or an observant Jew or a believing Jew at all in the slightest. He is, number one, pandering to the evangelicals. Number two, he wants people to believe that he's acting out of some sort of religious obligations, which he's not.
Yeah.
He wants to pander to the religious people, both religious Zionists, there are such things, and religious evangelicals. He wants to pander to them. Netanyahu doesn't believe one word he's saying. They're not waging a war in the name of Judaism. They're waging a war for Israel. They want it to look like a religious war. The reason is because if it's a religious war, it's a war against Amalek. It's a war against Islamic Muslim fanatics. Such wars can never be solved. They can never stop. It's just like the Hatfields and the McCoys.
So the fun thing with the serpent is, how does the serpent talk? And not only that, but why is the serpent's punishment?
It's like the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Lucky.
You're going to stop them? You're going to get a compromise? No one compromises their religion. So if it's a religious war, it just goes on forever. They don't want you to think, okay, well, maybe Israel can stop the war. Maybe they don't have to make so many wars. Maybe a war is not necessary. Maybe negotiation is better.
So what's with all these wars, though? The scripture talks about how, matter of fact, let me get a quick scripture, because I know I've been speaking. I wanted to get to this part. But, I mean, hey, we just flowing in the spirit, you know what I'm saying? Because, the spirit going to do what it's going to do. Because I wanted to get to this part where he's talking about, the mother, so to speak, is, how you pretty much determine what nationality a child is, whatever. Let's go into Isaiah real quick. Okay, so Isaiah 60:18, it says, violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. So by them being there in the land, they should be at peace. There shouldn't be no wars. It's a lot that should be happening with them. They should be prospering out of control. People should be, their gates are supposed to be open where it's constant prosperity being brought from the other nations coming to bow before them. Because that's what's going to happen when the kingdom, when the real kingdom is set up, man. They're not experiencing that. They got all kinds of chaos going on over there. Their economy is down. You got the men over there don't even work. They get stipends, and guess who they're getting them stipends from? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Your tax money, and of course, these so-called America. America funds them. They're the big welfare state, right? They'll call you anti-Semitic, but at the same time, your tax money is going over there to take care of them. But the point that I wanted to make is what's with all these talks of wars and all this fighting when prophetically, if you were the real people and you going back into the land, there wouldn't be any of that. And there damn sure won't be no alphabet parades and all that wickedness that's going on over there in the land, man. It's so many things. It's just confusion. These people is on a day-to-day basis is being proven more and more that these are not the people, man. The Lord is breaking them down. That man is saying that the son of perdition is being revealed according to 2 Thessalonians 2:3. He's being revealed. He's being uncovered. Right? So let's get some more.
Any wars. Maybe a war is not necessary. Maybe negotiation is better. They don't want you to they don't want you to believe that Jews are going to their death. Okay, never mind what they're doing to Gaza. Israel itself is sending Jews to their death to fight a war for politics, so that Netanyahu can stay in office, or for some other political reasons. If it's Judaism and it's your religion and your identity, then it becomes, you become more committed to it. But it's not. He's lying. He doesn't even believe that himself. Now, as far as you becoming Jewish, if you follow the doctrine, it's not enough. Part is you have to be committed to the doctrine.
See, this is the point that I wanted to get to right here. So check out what he says. Because he's basically like, see, it's it's a DNA thing, man. This is not like something that you can just, like I said again, I use the example of so-called Chinese people. You can learn how to use chopsticks. You can learn how to cook all their foods. You can put on their clothing. You know what I'm saying? You can learn karate, kung fu, whatever their culture got to do with making them pretty much overall Chinese people. You can do all that all you want to, but you're not going to be ethnically a Chinese person. And this is a DNA thing. You have to come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to be a real Jew, which will be the tribe of Yahweh or tribe of Judah. You would have to come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is not something that you can just, I believe in that doctrine, so I'm a Jew. No, man, it don't work like that, man. Anyway, let's play some more. Because he's going to mention Donald Trump's daughter. Let's get some more.
Doctrine. In other words, it's more important to be committed to it because everybody sins. Nobody's perfect. If Jews don't follow the doctrine, but they try and they're committed to it, that's what makes somebody a Jew.
Right, I did not mean to make light. I just felt like, those are virtues that I subscribe to as well. Doesn't seem like a club that I can't get into because I wasn't born in it or I have no Israeli connection. This is something different. That's why I was so moved by...
See that stupid shit? You just thinking like, I have virtues and I'm a Jew then. Nah, man, it don't work like that, bro. This is complete confusion, bro.
Right. Well, of course you can. Donald Trump's daughter converted to Judaism, right?
Okay. So what's a conversion? You just changing your lifestyle to live like someone else's lifestyle. That doesn't make you ethnically one of them. And again, it's very important to know that this seed line, that promise, it goes from Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob and his 12 sons. That makes up the 12 tribes of Israel. And if you're not one of those, if you don't come from one of those 12 sons, your ass is going into slavery, man. It's simple. You're going into slavery. The Hebrew Israelites are going to rule over all nations, man, when the Lord comes and sets up shop. You're not going to be able to just group yourself in. You're not going to be able to just, flow off into, certain areas of, you're not going to be, you're going to be working. You're going to be being in a damn field somewhere. Or are you going to keep the law, statutes, and commandments? Oh, yeah. You're going to definitely learn those, but it's going to come with some hardship. Because these nations not going to want to get in line, man, when the Lord comes, man. But this crap that this guy is talking about and what she's talking about, this is all bullshit right here. This is bullshit right here, bro. None of this is going to get them out of what's to come for them as nations of people. These are, if you are part of the nations that are in Psalms 83 and you're part of those nations that the Lord deems to be his enemies, it's not going to be a good look for you in the kingdom, man. It just is what it is. And if you're not an Israelite, basically, you're an enemy of the Lord. Now, don't get me wrong. There's enemies amongst our own people, but we're talking about our own people are gonna be good in the kingdom. They're gonna come to righteousness in the kingdom. They're gonna be good because those laws, statutes, and commandments are gonna be written on their minds and their hearts, man. With these people, they're not gonna have it like that. They're not gonna have it like that, bro. They're not gonna have no place in our kingdom like that. So let's play a little bit more, and I'm gonna end out.
Yes.
Ivanka Trump is Jewish, and she married a Jewish guy, and she has Jewish children. You can.
The only way that her children would be Jewish would be through the father. But what they say is you're considered to be a Jew through your mother. And it's confusion. It's confusion, bro. Let's play some more.
Refer to Judaism. In the book of Ruth, it says that King David, in the book of Ruth in the Bible, that King David himself is a descendant of Ruth, who was a convert. She was a Moabite woman who converted to Judaism. Plenty of Jews. Jews accept converts. Of course, it has nothing to do with blood. It has nothing to do with some country in the Middle East. That's Zionism. And
See, this is confusing. See how you try to use Ruth? Oh, yeah, what did Ruth do? She had to bow out. And of course, she had to keep the rules and regulations of our city or community at that time. She wasn't gonna be able to come in there with no Moabite nothing. You see, and that's why the scriptures do talk about, it's nothing wrong with Israelite men dealing with women of the other nations. You know what I'm saying? Because that's biblical. But see what happened with King Solomon. King Solomon started to put up temples and started to worship the gods of these women that, that kind of got him in trouble, roughly paraphrasing. Instead of him saying, look, bitch, you in my house. We serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. These are the rules and regulations. And that's that. We're not going to have any parts of your God up in here. You better not even mention that motherfucker. And you're going to be subject to our rules, regulations, under our laws, statutes, and commandments. And that was a thing that, King Solomon kind of got away from. But when it comes to the lineage of David, it clearly tells you right here in Matthew. But like I said, again, they may not believe in the New Testament. But when you go off into this lineage right here of the Lord, Yahushua, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus, it gives you all the men. It gives you his bloodline through his fathers, his grandfather, his great-grandfather, his great-great-grandfather, great-great-great-great-grand, so on and so forth. It's going through his fathers. This is the lineage of his fathers, man. Not the lineage of no mother, man. I say it all the time. This is about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, not Abigail, Michelle and Jessica, whoever the hell. No, this is about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The seed line goes through the father, man. So let's get I know it took me a while to get to some scriptures, but I'm kind of roughly paraphrasing, but I wanted to get to that point of what he was talking about. With this right here, Numbers chapter 1, right? I'm just going to start at verse 2. It says, take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel, after their families, by the house of their fathers. See, with the number of their names, every male by their poll. And then it goes on, it's going to name off all the tribes. So where are the women at in these tribes here? Why aren't no women being, and then it goes, let's get to verse 18. It says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. See? According to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. So your pedigree, that's your family lineage. That's your family line. See? Can't nobody just pop up and say, well, you know what, now that I live in the same house with you, we're the same ethnicity. It's like again, I use Chinese, you know what I'm saying? So-called Chinese person, he moves into the neighborhood, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily make him, he might be a part of the community as far as in the neighborhood, but that doesn't make him ethnically what the other people are. See, this goes by the seed line of your dad, man. You are what your father is. But again, that's that confusion. And then, with that Judaism bullshit with their religion. Look, man, I'm telling you, this thing is about the Israelites. It's about a seed line, man. Has absolutely nothing to do with no damn religion, bro. And a false religion at that. You know? So I just wanted to touch on this, man, for a hot sec. You know what I'm saying? So, hope I didn't confuse anybody. But, hey, look. This seed line thing goes through your father, man. You clearly see this lady. She's sitting there like, well, I have virtues, and I don't believe in war. Well, maybe I'm a Jew. No. That don't make you no Jew. You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, you can clearly see that the word Jew is just short for the tribe of Judah. And you'll never hear these people talking about where the other tribes are. You think out of 75 years of you being there, you would at least, some of them would have done came back. Well, you know, when not just the Jews are here, the tribe of Asher came back. You know, the tribe of Zebulon is back in the land. See? So, you know, I just wanted to touch on that, man. It's a bunch of damn confusion. And again, this was a good show too. You know, it was some more stuff that they was kicking it on. You know, earlier in the show, I was kind of like getting to the end and listening to this guy like, let me pause. You know what I'm saying? We can get some edification out of this. So I'm gonna end out there, man. I pray that the lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Yashala.